Okay. Hopefully everyone's got seat. Sorry for the trouble in for meeting everyone. Somehow the software, the registration software seems to have missed a few people, so we'll try to sort things out and make sure that we have food for everyone at lunch at dinner. So we'll try to make sure that everything goes well. So welcome to the European New Radio Days 2019. Just a quick few words of introduction, just to make sure that everyone knows how I see things happening for the next few days. So just first of all, a bit of historical background. Last year, I've seen quite a few phases that are come back to this year. Last year, under the motivation of the staff of Lyon, of INSA Lyon, of Tanguy, of Léo, Mathieu, they were thinking that we were missing in Europe a dedicated conference towards GNU radio and software-defined radio, but dedicated to GNU radio. And so last year, we organized the French GNU Radio Days. Now, there was a bit of a misunderstanding or a difficulty in understanding whether French related to the French language or to the location of the conference. And quite obviously, most attendees expected that it was a French language conference, except for Paul, who kindly attended. So he was the only non-French attendee to the French European conference. So this year we made sure to make things straight, and it's now European New Radio Days, not conference, not to compete with the New Radio Conference in the US, of course. So to give you a bit of a hint of what we would like, so you see here we have the multimedia team recording everything. For last year, it was Pip doing the work. So you might have a look at the YouTube channel where we broadcast the last year's recording. And we would like to do the same this year. Now, of course, we do this only with your authorization. So if anyone would like to prevent anything from being recorded, let us know, and of course, we'll stop recording. Also, all these recordings are not live broadcasts. They will be post-processed before broadcasting. So even if you want some recording to be edited, let us know, and we'll make sure that things that you don't want to get out of a conference don't get out. So when we defined the conference, we said we wanted a conference that bridges the gap between technical engineering and scientific and research. So basically, we see GNU Radio as a framework for prototyping discrete time digital signal processing, but with a focus on application. So one participant mentioned it's a strong academic participation. And of course, most conferences are with mostly academia people, but I really would like to focus on the practical implications of the work of using GNU Radio, so going from theoretical, from algorithm towards practical application. That's my computer. So what's going to happen for the next few days? So the first day today is dedicated to oral presentations. You've seen that we have 1 or 1 hour and a half sessions. We've got chairmen that will try to make sure that we stay on track. So please, speakers, try to make sure that you keep on your half-an-hour slot, including installation. For those who have not sent me their presentation, it would be most convenient for the multimedia team if you can give me on a USB stick your presentation so we can run it on the host computer rather than bringing your own computer. It's a bit easier for us to record everything for the presentations. So for those who have not come to see me, please come during the coffee break and give me your presentation USB stick. At the end of the day, we'll have Markus Müller from Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, from KIT, giving the keynote speech on GNU Radio internals. I don't exactly know what he's going to talk about, and I'm looking forward to hearing his presentation. And this evening, because you've seen that Besançon is rather a smaller city, a smaller town, and it might not be obvious for everyone to find dinner, we organize a barbecue. So the barbecue will be hosted at NSEM on the lawn in front of the school. It will start around 7:30, 8. We asked for 8 p.m. The person organizing this said he would be a bit earlier. There's beer, there's wine, so please join. You can consider this as a social event. I think actually it's the most important part where you can share information with others. The hall will stay open, so you can still look at the posters, you can still look at the experiments, so try to join for the barbecue. It will be from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. this evening, and will be the opportunity for you to share information. Buses going downtown for those who are coming by public transportation. I checked, there are buses at least until midnight, every half an hour from 10, 10:30, 11, so you're safe to go back home. So that's the first day. Again, all presentation will be recorded. If you don't want your presentation to be recorded, let us know. Second day, the tutorial will be held in the 2 computer rooms that are kindly provided by NSEM. It's 2 times 28 computers, so that's 56 computers. There's obviously quite a few more people in the room than 56, so if you are a group of people coming together, please try to share a computer during the tutorial sessions. We'll try to squeeze everyone in the rooms. I'm still not sure how we're going to do it, but we'll try to make sure that everyone fits in these 2 rooms. Because the policy of NSEM is to have only Windows-based computers, you'll see that we'll run the tutorials on VirtualBox, which has been a bit of a hassle, but we believe that everything is working well. So we'll try to make sure that everything works well. You've seen that the tutorials are based on the PlutoSDR, the board from Analog Device. Analog Device has been very generous in supporting the conference, so the team of Analog Device is with us in the room. And they have provided the PlutoSDR that you have in your bags. So I tried, because the deadline for subscription was May 1st, I tried to make sure that everyone that had subscribed before May 1st has a PlutoSDR. If that's not the case, please come and see me. We'll try to sort things out. And for those who registered after May 1st, I tried to take the spare PlutoSDR left by saying that organization staff would not get one, people who I know get one from their university will not get one, and I tried to share it amongst the people who have registered after May 1st. So if you are disappointed by your bag, please come and see me. We'll try to sort things out. So again, great thanks to Analog Device for providing all this hardware and allowing us to make the tutorials on their chip. That brings me a bit to a PlutoSDR. So that's just a quick introduction about what I've been spending the last 6-7 years just playing with the low-cost DVB-T. That was what we were using last year. And I think really this hardware is again a show changer. I mean, the DVB-T was really the low cost, and I believe that it made software-defined radio explode because it gained access. Everyone got access to software-defined radio for like something like 10 euros. And now, for about 100 euro, you get the frequency span not limited to 1.6 gigahertz, but you go all the way to 6 gigahertz. So this means that you have access to a 2.4 gigahertz range. I find it absolutely fascinating that for about 100 euro now, you get about 64 megahertz bandwidth, 6 gigahertz top frequency. That's just completely amazing as hardware. And so you will see a few presentations that are not exactly GNU radio centered. I've put here this phase noise. Actually, maybe you've seen that, that there are some GNU Linux magazine outside. So Linux Magazine Diamond Edition is a sponsor of the conference. They're giving you some of the magazine. And that was one of a curve that we published for analyzing the PlutoSDR. And you will see a few presentations that are not centered on GNU radio. The laboratory hosting this conference is FEMTO-ST, time and frequency. So we did try to put a bit of a focus on our knowledge, which is frequency stability and time transfer. So you'll see a few experiments outside about radar, about timing measurements. So again, there is a lot of opportunities with this low-cost hardware to do some very nice characterization. I know that Claudio and Carolina at the back of the room will be presenting topics related to phase noise. So I think phase noise is really a core issue that not so many people know about in the computer science and software-defined radio. And that's your first characteristics. I mean, remember that if you do a phase modulation, you're measuring a phase. If your local oscillator is not stable, it's going to be difficult to extract the phase information. Here in this example, that's the temperature-controlled crystal oscillator of the PlutoSDR, which is excellent at short term, but on long term, it's drifting, of course, because it's a TCXO. And if you replace it, I have the experiment outside with an oven-controlled crystal oscillator. You have poor, far from carrier phase stability, but you have long-term stable signal. So I think, again, this low-cost hardware does not mean low-cost experiment. It's still the opportunity to be doing some very nice science, as will be shown by the colleagues from INRIM, from Torino, from Paris Observatory. We have one presentation, and our colleague from FEMTO-ST will be introducing some of our activity on phase noise and phase analysis. Just a few statistics, which apparently are completely wrong from the people I see in the room. I had expected about 85 to 95 registry. I think that quite a few more people show up, so I'll try to figure out how. Country distribution, obviously it's in France, mostly French people. I mean, 2/3 of the attendees are French. But still, I'm very pleased to see a very strong German staff. Of course, colleagues from Munich have joined. We have colleagues from Freiburg that should be joining us shortly. We've got some staff from USA joining us. We've got some colleagues from Romania, again from Analog Device, some Dutch people coming with us, Swiss, Finnish. I got some email from Indians. Are they here? There's 2 Indians that should be coming. It was very late. Italy, of course, Belgium, Spain, and Algeria. So we've got actually, it's becoming European. I think it's obviously English will be the language this year, so that's the official language. And origins of, so this actually is a bit of a pie chart that I tried to classify. I'm not really sure, like for example, Fraunhofer Institute, I don't know if I put you in government agency or if I put you in academia. So I put Fraunhofer in government, so that helps me to grow a little bit this part of the pie. So you see that actually we have mostly academia, but we do have some companies coming in. We have some government agencies. So government agencies, I put this military, I put this space agency, and I put this as development agencies that are not dedicated to research, from my understanding. And then there's others, which is ham radio, students, and the people I didn't know where to classify. Sponsors, again, Analog Device has been very generous in providing the PlutoSDR. Linux Magazine has made the advertisement. Groupement de Recherche Network Research Group has supported, as well as First TF financially. Rohde & Schwarz, you might think, why is an oscilloscope manufacturer sponsoring a software-defined radio conference? Rohde & Schwarz is going to demonstrate their hardware. I have one experiment outside, which is fetching data from a wideband oscilloscope using from wideband oscilloscope in GNU radio. And basically, whenever you need high bandwidth, discontinuous data sets, an oscilloscope makes an excellent software-defined radio source, and I'll show you how you can use these for radar measurements. You can have centimeter resolution with a 10 gigahertz oscilloscope. You have centimeter resolution on distance measurements. So I do believe that high-speed oscilloscope are appropriate software-defined radio sources. We've got the laboratories, affiliations of the organization, and Armadillo Systems is the cause of all this work. Armadillo Systems is a company from Mulhouse. They're manufacturing boards combining CPU and FPGA before the Zinc was created, and they have sponsored a lot of this work. So thank you for Armadillo Systems, Opossum. Wednesday, I expected to extend a little bit the stay to a subset of the participants, so I'll not stay too long. I think that one of the challenges of software-defined radio is to put the line at the right place between FPGA processing of a radio frequency stream and CPU. And that's a very challenging work. I mean, we know that writing anything in FPGA takes forever, but FPGA are fast, CPU are slow, but they have higher languages, higher level of abstraction. And so we've spent, our colleague Gwenaël Goavec and Pib have spent a lot of time for the last 5 or 6 years developing a co-design framework, and we would like to promote this framework. So that's not going to happen at NSEM because you need so many software. We need Buildroot, we need Vivado, we need a working Linux computer, so we cannot do this on VirtualBox. It would be an 80 gigabyte VirtualBox that doesn't make sense. So for people attending the Wednesday tutorial, we will meet at NSEM at 8:30 and walk all the way to the university. That's 15-minute walk. Or if you want to wake up a bit later and you know where the university is, we can join at 10 to 9 at the university. That's Bâtiment Propédeutique. And so that we're at 9 a.m. in the computer room to get started with the tutorial. People ask me, when do you expect it to finish? Because we need to leave to get a train. I don't know exactly how long it's going to last. I can tell you it lasted for the last 6 or 7 years, so you can imagine that it might last a bit of time. Basically, you just leave whenever either you give up or you have to get your train. What we would like to do is to try to make it like the morning tutorial will be a step-by-step presentation of adding a mixer. Of course, mixing, well, the AD9363 is already doing the mixing, so why would you mix on the PL, on the FPGA? Well, that's just for introducing the topics, and in the afternoon, I would like you to help you show you how to decode CDMA messages, and of course, because GPS is CDMA, I can show you that you can decode GPS on board the FPGA of the PlutoSDR. I don't expect everyone to have a GPS signal after 8 hours of tutorial, but I hope that you can all go back home with the knowledge how to complete the tutorial of turning your PlutoSDR into a GPS receiver. To be completely true, that's the acquisition phase of GPS. I don't know how to do tracking yet. So I expect to finish at around 5 p.m. And finally, because I should stay on time, I was wondering, what about sightseeing? Where can I send you? I don't really know what's around Besançon. And then tonight I figured out, yeah, maybe there's one place that this community would like to visit. You might know that in France we have a radar dedicated to space surveillance, GRAV, which is, I've forgotten. GRAV is the radar system for detecting satellites flying over the French territory. And GRAV is actually a grand réseau adapté à la veille spatiale. So that's the large network dedicated. No, actually, I wonder why it is adapted to space surveillance. And actually, GRAV, the emitter is a bistatic radar with the emitter actually 50 kilometers from Besançon and the receiver on Plateau d'Albion, south of France. So actually, it's a bistatic receiver using the whole of France as the distance between emitter and receiver. And actually, you can go there. There's a large fence. You can see through that fence. I don't really know what you can detect out from watching. And there is a big board, no picture. So of course I didn't put any picture of GRAV radar. But the nice thing about living 50 kilometers from a 500 kilowatt radar is that you just stick a wire out of a window and you've got the Doppler shift of all the planes flying in the area around Besançon. So if you have a car and you want to visit, GRAV is just 50 kilometers northwest. There's hardly any surveillance. You can visit it. I would not advise taking a picture, but it's one place that you can visit around Besançon. So that's pretty much the introduction that I wanted to. I should not speak much longer. Any question, any comment? Any uncertainty about your stay here? Everything's good? So with that, for the speakers, please use the microphone, not so much because you might not be heard, but because, again, sound is recorded. So if you use the microphone, you make sure that you have good sound quality on the record that will be broadcast after the conference. So if there is no question, no comment, I would like to get started with the first session.